Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday the 24th of February 2021. Today is the day after the big match. Luton 1, Millwall 1, and we're going to take a look at the stats from that match after we get to digest what's happened. And here you can see this is from Experimental 361, and this is the expected goals over the length of the match. The blue line is Mill, the orange line is Luton. When the line goes up, that is a shot or chance on goal, and the circles are the actual goals. As you can see, the best player for Luton, Adebayo, got the goal, had the highest expected goals. We actually did better in expected goals than Luton, 1.6 to 1.2. But as you can see, 10 minutes after the start of the second half, Luton score. They have another couple of shots, but then after we make two subs in the 61st minute, it's all defending for Luton. It's a flat line, a flat orange line. That means they didn't have another shot, so they just shut up shop and tried to defend for 30 minutes. And what happens when you do that? We know, because we're Millwall fans, when you try and defend for a long amount of time and don't do anything going forward, you will concede. And that's what happened to Luton, because we don't know how it happened, but we just kept going for it. I think super sub Matt Smith, I know he doesn't like being super sub, he doesn't like coming off the bench, but when he started against Wickham, the poorest team in the league, he was poor. He was absolutely poor. But when he came on against Birmingham, when he came on last night against Luton, it was amazing. He was amazing. And I think what it is his fitness and his stamina. It isn't there to start a match and play against younger players or more agile players, more fit players who are fully fit. So, because of his low level of stamina and fitness, and basically acceleration, if he comes on in 30 minutes, he's playing against half-tired players. Even in this day and age where you got, like, I think, how many subs is it up to now? 6, 7, 5? So even then, he comes on, he's playing against tired defenders, but because of his lack of fitness and acceleration, he can compete with them, but he can't when he starts the match. He can't. But he was amazing when he come on against Birmingham. He was amazing when he come on last night. He helped win the game. He set up the goal, and I'll show you in a minute. But the amount of stuff he did when he come on in the 61st minute in the 30 minutes of the match that he played, he was amazing. But when he starts the game, he can't do anything. So even though he doesn't like being super sub, if he wants to play in a championship, he super sub is where it's at, because you play better that way. You don't play better when you start. You've got to play against fresh players. But when you come on, you can compete with half-tired players, and you give them something else to worry about, an aerial threat, which none of the other players have really. But here we go. So as you can see, Matt Smith 0.6 expected goals, George Evans 0.3 expected goals, and we were just it took a long while for our first chance on goal there. Round about, what was that, the 18th minute. So you see the blue line is just flat to the 18th minute, and then it goes up. That was our first shot on goal. But we did keep chipping away. But you can see, because the blue line doesn't go up that much, that means it's not a really good chance. It's not a good chance. Poor chances. And we had a load of little poor chances. Nothing really clinical. Until when you see in the 61st minute, changes happen, and then we got a lot more good chances going on. One on the 90th minute and the goal on the 95th minute or 94th minute, whenever it was. So there's this from Experimental 361. Moving on now, we're going to go to whoscored.com. Whoscored.com, they are the website where, if you've ever seen EFL Championship Team of the Week, they get the Team of the Week from the stats from this website. And we're going to read it now. It says, match summary, Luton 1, Millwall 1. Luton were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from the flanks. Weaknesses, committed a high number of individual errors. Match styles for Luton: played with wit, favoured long shots, attacked down the left hand side, attacked down the right side. And for Millwall, strengths: created a high number of chances relative to their possession, stole the ball often from the opposition. Weaknesses: gave away a lot of free kicks around the box. Styles: favoured long shots, attacked through the middle, had a high shot frequency when in possession. So let's go down here, and it's back to where it was before. Very low conversion rate. We had more shots than Luton. We had 14, they had 9. 10 from open play, 4 from set piece. To Luton 7 and 2. But we only scored 1 goal. So that's a conversion rate of 7%. Which is back to the way it was when we were having a really bad run earlier. Yeah, it's not good. I'm going to show you this as well. So you see on the left hand side Luton, what formation are Luton playing? You can clearly see. So this is the player position, average player position when they were involved in the play. And you what formation are Luton playing? 3-5-1-1. Pretty clear cut there. Yeah? What formation are Millwall playing? Who's playing on the right wing? What's happening here? This is just jumbled mess. And you've got Bradshaw and Bodvarsson sticking together. No one's playing on the right wing. This is just confusing as hell, man. Absolute. Oh my god. Ben Thompson playing back, supposed to be attacking midfielder. No wonder he didn't play well. Because Jed's freaking playing in his position. Jed should be out on the right, flinging balls in. Because they've got look at the gaps in where they were playing. Luton, gap between the defence and the midfield, and massive gaps between each of them. And we couldn't take advantage of that because Jed Wallace isn't playing on the right wing. They're relying on Romeo to get forward. And then what happens when Romeo gets forward? That's where we get caught on the goal. Anyway, so sticking on whoscored.com, but on a different site, you can see the match facts here. Hutchinson got booked the first half, and start of the second half was where all the action was. They scored 10 minutes after the second half. Elijah Adibowe. Then the changes happened, and then you could see earlier where we started playing. Matt Smith come on, Mason Bennett come on, and as much as they don't want to be called super subs, they're super subs. We're going to go down here. If you look at the top where the badges are, you can see the average rating for all the players. So for Luton is 6.54. For Millwall is 6.62. So we were better than average player rating, better than them. But when you look at the starting, I think that's based on the subs, because you look at the starting 11, Luton's starting 11 pretty higher than our starting 11. Their player Adebayo got a man of the match, 7.6, but pretty even with the Millwall players. Pierce got 7.6, so is he the highest rated Millwall player? Yep. Pearson and Smith, highest rated Millwall players. Pierce had a really good game actually. Matt Smith was amazing when he come on. Bradshaw was awful. After 30 minutes he was sweating buckets, breathing like he'd just completed a marathon. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's his beard. He's overheating, because his beard's making him hot. I don't know what's going on there. Something, or maybe he's just unfit. Yeah. Maybe they can't train properly because of the restrictions that are on them. I don't know. But anyway, let's have a look. So I've shown you the ratings. Let's have a look at total shots. We have more shots than them actually, according to this website. 14 shots to 9. Wallace with 3. Bodvarsson didn't have any shots, even though he was on for most of the game, wasn't he? He didn't go off on 61 minutes, did he? No, he went off on 75 minutes. Bodvarsson had 75 minutes on the pitch, didn't have a single shot. Ben Thompson had 3 shots. Wallace had 3 shots. As many as Adebayo. They didn't score, he did. So there you go. Not putting your shots away, or not even have good quality shots. Bradshaw had 1 shot, and that was just awful. He should have had more, but he's bad control. Possession wise, time on the ball. Who had the most time on the ball? It's usually the defenders. And yeah, that was again, but they had more possession than us. That they were doing the thing where the goalkeeper side foots it out for the goal from the goal kicks instead of whacking it forward. So Craney and Bradley, Sonny Bradley had the most possession for them, like 8% of all the match possession for Bradley. For Millwall it was Hutchinson. Yeah, usually it is Hutchinson. He has a lot of the possession for Millwall. Ben Thompson only 1.9. That is poor. Bradshaw, yeah, because he couldn't control it. He ended up only having 1.4% of the possession, of match possession. That's not good at all, is it? Although both Bradshaw and Thompson did get taken off in the 61st minute, so that would be also part of the reason. But when you compare to the player they got taken off for, Smith and Bennett, so Bennett 1.7 is better than Bradshaw, even though he had less time on the pitch. Bradshaw and Thompson come off for 61 minutes for Smith and Bennett. Smith had 1.8. So in the 30 minutes they were on, half the time that those two started were on the pitch, they had as much of the possession as they did. So there you go. If you want to look at stats and read into them, there you go. Read into that what you will. Pass success. Here we go. This is the pass success percentage. Bradshaw 80. So he's good at passing the ball to other players, just not getting it from them, it seems. Woods 83, Wallace 85, Bodvarsson 45. Ouch. But Smith was down at 44 as well, so I think Bodvarsson was kind of acting like the target man, bombing balls forward to him. Anything else there? Well, actually, that's high for Biakowski. 67%. That is high for him. Very good. I don't know if he's been working on that, but that is an improvement on recent matches. Bennett 80% when he come on, and Tyler Bory 100, but I think that's because he didn't have a lot of to do when he got on the pitch. So there you go. Dribbles, we had more than them, 8-4. Bodvarsson, Wallace and Bradshaw. Okay. Aerials 1, pretty even, 36-35 in Mill's favour. Pierce, Evans, look at that. Matt Smith, 10 aerials 1 when he come on the pitch. In 30 minutes of playing football, he come on the 30 minutes compared to 60 for Bradshaw and 75 for Bodvarsson. 10 aerial duels 1, including the one that set up the goal. He got the assist. That's why you're a super sub, mate. Because when you play against tired players, you do better. You win 10 aerial duels in 30 minutes. Ooh. Okay. And Evans 5. Of course, one of them being the goal that he got. PS5 as well. Sonny Bradley 8. So there you go. So it seems Sonny Bradley could handle Bodvarsson and Bradshaw, and probably Wallace as well. But when Smith come on, not so much. Not so much there. Not so much, Mr. Tattoo Man. Tackles 12 and 12. That is damning. Look at that. So pretty much evenly spread between Luton team. Even the forward got 2 tackles in, getting involved. But look at Millwall. Basically, what was supposed to be the middle of the pitch, the forward middle of the pitch. Woods, Thompson, Bodvarsson, Bradshaw, not a single tackle won. That is not good at all. Not good at all. Corners, yeah, 4-1. Dispossessed. So they were dispossessed 11 times, Mill 6 times. Pretty even stuff there. Not much going on. Let's move on now to basically the player stats. More stats, but it's laid out in list format. It's basically the same stuff we've just seen, but a bit more extra detail. I'm just going to go through it now. So yeah, we've got Alex Pearce, Mill's best player, according to WhoScored.com, 7.61. But look at that. Number 2, Matt Smith, 7.51. From 30 minutes on the pitch, he becomes the second best Millwall player of the game last night. And the third, the goal scorer, Mr. George Evans. Thank you, sir. 7.33. Then 7.01 for Jed Wallace, and a bit of a drop off there. The Bart Biakowski and the rest, etc., etc., etc. So let's have a look and see who had the most touches. So Sean Hutchinson, Scott Malone, 63. Yeah, it usually for Millwall, it usually is the defenders who have more touches. Even though we don't genuinely play it out from the back like a lot of teams. Biakowski does kick long goal kicks. We still end up having with the midfielders not doing anything in the game. Maybe it's time to get George Evans in the middle of the park. Although we've got injuries, so that seems unlikely. But something needs to happen in the middle of that park, because it is not good enough. And putting Jed Wallace in there does not help, because he needs to play out on the right wing and do something out there. So let's have shots. So Ben Thompson, 3 shots, 0 on target. Matt Smith, 3 shots, 0 on target. Oh, okay. So not good from Millwall. Their shooting boots were not on. Jed Wallace, 3 shots, only 1 on target. So what it would seem the best players there were George Evans and Mason Bennett. 1 shot, 1 on target. Gotta get it on target. Okay. Moving on to offensive stats. What shall we look at? Unscheduled touches. Unscheduled touches, basically, if you come down here and see, unscheduled touches, bad control. That's what it says there. If you look over here on the left hand side, unscheduled touches, bad control. So who had the bad control for Millwall? John Daddy Bodvarsson, 6. Tom Bradshaw, 5. And then a long gap for 2. George Evans and Marlon Romeo. Ben Thompson, Jed Wallace. 6 and 5. They were poor last night. Poor. Bradshaw was awful. John Daddy, he was bad, but at least he put effort in and seemed to know what he was doing. But according to this, no, maybe I wasn't watching the game properly, because of 6 and 5. Bad control. against Luton. Luton, everyone. Anyway, let's move on to defensive stats. So, total 2 at the most tackles. We've seen that. 4 from Pierce. Interceptions. Did we see that one? No. Let's have a look. Pierce, yeah. That's why he was Millwall's man of the match, not the man of the match overall. But Millwall's man of the match. 4. So 4 tackles, 4 interceptions, 6 clearances, and 1 block shot for Alex Pierce. Pretty decent game from him. Stepping up to the plate when we need him. He's been out of the bench, out of the team on the bench, not being involved. Not through any fault of his own, but just the players ahead of him are better than him. Sean Hutchinson better than him. Jake Cooper better than him. Murray Wallace maybe better than him. Maybe. But when Alex Pierce needs steps into the team, he steps up and performs to a level. And he's done that there. Moving on to the last one from this website, passing stats. So, what are we going to look? Who had the most passes for Millwall? Hutchinson 47, Pierce 42, George Evans, Ryan Woods. But the accuracy, so his first 3 players not accurate, not too accurate. Ryan Woods 36 passes, 83% accurate. And for Jed Wallace 33, 84. For Marlon Romeo 33, 75. So, and it just gets worse from there. Just poor. But you see down here, Bradshaw 10 passes, 80 accurate. So it's a low number but high accuracy. But that was him passing to other players, not him receiving the ball, because he was awful. Tyler Burry only 1 pass, that's why it was 100% accuracy. Mason Bennett 15. Look at Mason Bennett. So Mason Bennett come on 60th minute. He's had 30 minutes on the pitch. He got 15 passes, 80% accuracy, which is the same that Tom Bradshaw got in 60 minutes, but more passes, but better same accuracy. Did 5 more passes, and Bradshaw did in half the time, 60 minutes to 30 minutes. What's happening here, man? So crosses. Here we go. Awful all around the board. Jed Wallace 5 crosses, 1 accurate. Scott Malone 5 crosses, 0 accurate. What's happening with Scott Malone? He's either a superstar or he's just super awful. Long balls, 6 long balls, 0 accurate from Scott Malone last night against Luton. Come on, man, what's happening here? Sean Williams 2 and 2, 2 crosses, 2 accurate. The one for the goal, he didn't even look up. On his right foot. Didn't look up. Just looked down at the ball. Floated it into to Matt Smith at the back post. Matt Smith heads it to George Evans and it goes in. Sean Williams comes on 75th minute. He comes on, and he's better at crossing than Scott Malone, with his 5 crosses and none of them going anywhere to a Millwall player. This is not good at all. Not good at all. Ryan Woods 2 and 1. Bradshaw 2 and 1. Tyler Burry 2 and 0. That's not good. Okay. Long balls. Let's have a look at long balls. So Biakowski 24 and 14. It's not that bad for me actually. It's usually a lot worse than that. That's pretty decent for him. 15 and 8, George Evans with the long ball. Very good at passing the ball long. Then it dips a lot to Hutchinson 13 and 3. Woods 11 and 6. That's pretty decent, I suppose, 50%. But then, again, Scott Malone 6 and 0. We've already talked about that. Ben Thompson 2 and 0. Not good at all. Okay. So that was the stats from whoscored.com. Let's have a look at the rating for the. So Adebayo got 7.64, and what did just, pardon me. So Alex Pearce got 7.61. So he's just 0.03 away from getting the same score as Adebayo. So not much in it. Not much in it between Alex Pearce and Adebayo for man of the match. Alex Pearce was pretty decent last night. We're going to move on now to this website. This is infogoal.net, and it's basically a mix between experimental and who scored. It's heavily focused on expected goals though, so I think the stats will be different because it's on. I think it's more or less based on expected goals created and scored, expected goals defended and stopped. So you get wide variations to the whoscored.com website. So here you can see the game events. We've already seen that. Let's have a look at the lineup, and it will give you the ratings for the players. You can see there. Yep, they give man of the match to Adebayo 8.07. Pretty much every other player on the Luton team is very poor, except Dewsbury Hall, Tunnicliffe. The rest, much of a muchness. For the Millwall team, let's click on that, get that up. The Millwall team, so they give Wallace 7.11. But they give, look at this, they give a poor rating to Pearce, 6.01, compared to the one before, where he was Millwall's best player. So what's happening there? So Malone, yeah, 5.48. Is that the lowest Millwall? That is the lowest. So the lowest Millwall player, 5.48 for Scott Malone. Just he plays hot and cold. He can't be consistent. And I'll tell you what, that game last night was a perfect game for Shane Ferguson to get involved, or even Junior Tenzia. But Shane Ferguson more so, because I don't know what it is about Scott Malone. He has one good game and he thinks he's a cream of the crop, and he just doesn't repeat it. He can't play good games in a row. Bodfast there with a low score, 5.86. But let's see. Yep, here we go again. Best player for Millwall, Matt Smith. 30 minutes on the pitch. Got the highest rating, 7.53. There you go. Yeah, and even with the subs, Bury only got a 5.8, which is better than Scott Malone's 5.48. So there you go. Scott Malone is awful compared to, according to infogoal.net. Let's go up and look. If you look at the Infogoal logo in the middle of the football shirts, you see they give expected goals 1.56 to Millwall to 0.67 to Luton. When you remember before we compared here, 1.6 to 1.2. So that's different there. They give more. They give more to, less to Luton, and slightly less to us, or about the same. So let's look at the stats now of the game. So percentage wise, yet again we give percentage to the possession to the opposition, 56 to 44. Attempts on target 4 to 3 in Luton's favour. Attempts off target 3 to 6. So shooting bits was definitely not on. 2 to 5 block shots, 2 to 3 goalkeeper saves. Total passes 459 to 39 to Millwall's 396. Completed passes 333 to Millwall's 275. So that doesn't seem all that good. We have more corners though, 4 to 1. Fouls, we fouled more than them, 17 to 11. They got more yellow cards, 2 to 1. So there you go. Let's have a look at the maps. So the expected goals map, where were the shots taken and where were they scored? The one here, this one, I've just gone pink, is the goal. on 54 minutes. It was a 13% chance. Not very big. Circle. The bigger the circle, the better the chance. But you notice something about Luton's chances. If you draw a line down the middle of the pitch, they all seem to be on that kind of inside left area. So maybe they know something, because I have said in previous videos about teams going down the left flank, trying when Marlon playing. They didn't do it when McNamara was playing, but when Marlon's playing, they go down that flank where he is. Even if they haven't got the best player on the left flank, they've got a better player on the right wing. They go down the left flank, presumably because they've seen footage. It's in the scouting report that if you want to score against Millwall, you go down this left flank and expose Marlon Romeo. So, but we can see here, maybe they're trying to split. Instead of going down the left flank, they go down the middle and then try and split between, what would that would be, Marlon and Sean Hutchinson, supposedly, and get in between them. Because, and it also seems like what looks like a well-drilled team, like you saw earlier with the formations, where it was pretty clear cut 3-5-1-1, whereas Millwall's was jumbled and all over the place. So let's have a look down at Millwall's chances. So there we go. The goal wasn't even one of our better chances. Best one here was Mason Bennett at 78 minutes. That was basically a 50-50. And the one there, Matt Smith, 90, on the 90th minute, that was a 22% chance. And the one that actually went in was the header from George Evans, 95th minute. That was only 10% chance that going in, but it went in. But you can see all of our best chances happened after the super subs come on. This one here is Matt Smith again. This one here was Matt Smith again. What's this one here? That's Bradshaw in 20. That was the one where he messed up really badly. Poor control. Tried to knock it forward ahead of himself and run onto it and hit it, and he knocked it too far forward and it just ran away from him. So there you go. So the best chances for Millwall, best 5 chances, happened after super sub Matt Smith come on, which is why he's got man of the match on both. We didn't get it on the other side, he got it on this side, and he got close to getting man of the match on the other side, even though after only playing 30 minutes. So there you go. Let's look at first half. So first half, yep, look, there's the first half. Awful. Second half, so something's happened to Luton. They've told them down here, go down this end. They've tried it a couple of times there. Ali Bayer twice, but Millwall, it's the second half. It's chalk and cheese, night and day. But Matt Smith and Mason Bennett, they don't have the stamina to start against fresh players. They need to come off the bench, especially in this day and age where we've got 5 subs to make. So I don't know what happens, but it's just so frustrating. We should have beat Wickham. We should have beat Luton. We should have 4 more points than we have. If we had 4 more points, where would we be? Let's have a look, because here, this is the table, because Barnsley played in the league today. There was a few games going on. Barnsley beat Stoke 2-0. Brentford beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-0. Cardiff beat Bournemouth 2-1, and now in the Championship playoff places. Mick McCarthy going in there, which I wanted Mick McCarthy to come back at Millwall when they let Neil Harris go instead of Gary Rowett, but here we go. And people were taking the piss out of me, saying probably because of his baggage from before, but he's a quality manager. Look what he's done at Cardiff. He hasn't even started yet. He's a out and out Millwall. He's out and out football man. He should be playing. He should be managing in the Premier League. But because they're full of foreign players, they need foreign managers, and that bumps every other native quality player and manager down a level to the bottom of the Premier League or to the top of the Championship. Mick McCarthy is good enough to be managing in the Premier League, but he's not. But he should be. It's just a shame he didn't come in at Millwall and turn us around like he's turned Cardiff around. Because if he did, we'd probably be in with a shout of top 2. But there you go. There you go. So here you can see 3 wins, home wins this season. 3 home wins. That's basically the worst in the league. Birmingham have 2. Wickham, the team right at the bottom, have 3 as well. And we are with them, even though we're in the top half of the table. 3 home wins, 10 home draws, 3 home defeats. So that's awful that we've only won 3 times at home. But I've got to give credit to them. We've only got 3 home defeats. And when you look at the table there, that's the best outside of the top 4. The top 4 teams, Norwich, Brentford, Watford, Swansea, home wins of 1, 2, 2 and 1. And we're the next in line, 3 home defeats. But it's just we draw too many games at home. And here we are. So we're in 11th place. Sorry, I'm waffling on here. We're in 11th place. We've got 43 points. We've got to play Barnsley on Saturday away. They're above us on 48 points. Yeah. Could be anything, you know. Could be anything. I'm going to finish now on this story. This is a really weird story that popped out. I told you before in another video that Jay Cooper needs shoulder surgery because if you don't, I'm just gonna round it up now. But if you want to find out more, go back to the video before. It's in the title about Jay Cooper needing shoulder surgery. Check that out. But I'm gonna round it up now. When you dislocate your shoulder, it's found a way out. It weakens the socket that it's in, or the tendons that keep it in, or the muscles or the bone that keeps it in. Once it pops out, it's weakened the area that's supposed to keep it in. So if you do not have surgery to fix that, your shoulder will keep popping out. And that's what we see here, where Jay Cooper had a dislocated shoulder, didn't have surgery because we needed him to play, so they just rested him and then he come back, and then his shoulder pops out again. Of course it does, because he didn't have the surgery. Because if you have the surgery, it's 95% certain that your shoulder will not dislocate again. It's fixed the problem. So there you go. But I can't believe what I'm reading here, what I read here this morning. This is from London News Online. This is the South London Press's online website. It says Millwall handed big boost as Jake Cooper could play again this season and delay shoulder op. And I'm just scratching my head here. We don't need him to play anymore. We're not in threat of relegation. We're not going to get into the playoffs because we can't win at home. We're not good enough. We don't have the finishers up front. But here we go. So let's have a read of this. It says Millwall have been handed a boost with the news that Jay Cooper could still play again this season, despite suffering a second shoulder dislocation last week. The Lion centre-back has missed the last 2 matches after suffering fresh damage to his right shoulder in last Wednesday's 2-0 win over Birmingham City. Cooper saw a specialist on Monday. We've had some quite good news on Jay Cooper that it looks like he won't need an operation yet, said Millwall manager Gary Rowett. It looks as though he might just need to let it settle down, strengthen it, and then he'll be able to continue to play. We're really, really pleased about that. That's a huge bit of news for us. When that will be, I don't know. I don't want to put a timeline on it. If you ask Hoops, he should have played tonight and be available for Saturday. If you ask anyone that's got half a brain, then I would say that it will take a bit longer than that. So that's just nonsense that he hasn't gone and got his shoulder fixed, and the nonsense that what's Gary out saying here? If you ask anyone, he's got half a brain. So he's calling Cooper a fucking idiot. What the fuck is that kind of thing to say? Are you fucking kidding me? He said that in a press conference. So Cooper's already missed 2 games now. If he would have had the surgery when he saw the specialist, he might be available to come back before the end of the season. Because we're in February and season doesn't end till May. But now they're just gonna risk him. And how is he gonna play well anytime he jumps up for the ball, knowing that his shoulder could bloody pop out again? It's just a nonsense. Now other teams will know, and they'll target him if they're snide. If they're snide Northern team like Leeds or something, even though they're not in our league, but you know what I mean. That's the kind of thing teams will do. They'll yank on his arm. When they go up for a jump with him, they'll yank on his right arm. Pull it out. This is just a nonsense to me. Absolute nonsense. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Bye.